So Lord, we thank you in advance. Get ready.
Good God afternoon, people of God. You have tuned into The Solution. I am your host, Minister Corey Wright. As always, we know what the problems are. We know we need to solve them. What I offer on this program is solutions. Dedicated acts of action that bring about true change, not just talked about change, and no excuses. Excuses are man's tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothing. Broadcasting live from IntellectualRadio.com, an iHeart radio station. And people, before I go, let me let you guys know about the contest that I have. Evening out, 2 free tickets to this contest. It is the Soul Smash of Chicago. It is August the 19th. At 7 p.m. and just some of the people that it's going to be London, Philly, Chicago, all of them coming together to bring you the Soul Jam of the year. Let me just tell you some of the people that's going to be there. You got the Delphonics Review, Will Hart. Oh my goodness. You got the Independents. You got Barb Savage. You got Ricky Rainbow. You got the Imperials and the Funk. You got Public Announcement and Theo Huff. I'm telling you, it's going to be at the Harold Washington Cultural Center at 4701 South King Drive. Again, if you get your tickets at barb.com, babs.com, I say babs.com. You get your tickets there. You get them before the 6th. There's a $10 early bird special, so it'll be just $10. Now, if you get your tickets, it's gonna be awesome. I'm giving away 2 free tickets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a show. I'm going to put this poster up and this flyer up on my page a little bit later, probably today or tomorrow or next week. And then what I want you to do is to tell me why this person in your life is special, why you guys need a night out, why this person loves you, why you love them, and what's going to happen. Again, if you want those tickets, that's BABSAVAGE.com. That's BABSAVAGE.com. You get your tickets. It's going to be awesome. VIP is $80. It's going to be worth the money. It's going to be worth the time. But we're giving away 2 free tickets. So when I put this up, I want you to go on there and tell why the person means much to you, means so much to you. And we're going to have the producer of the show, Wanda Balter, pick the winner. She's going to pick the winner. We're also going to have the person that is sponsoring it on the show, and we're going to interview her. But more importantly, the ones that win and that's picked, you're going to have an entire solution show where you can sit down and tell how you met, why you love each other, why this person means the world to you. And then you will get these tickets and have an amazing evening on the Solutions Radio Show, sponsored by IntellectualRadio.com in association with owner Earl Winfrey and Wanda Balter. Oh my goodness, that sounds good. I need to do commercials, shouldn't I? Hercules. So people of God, this will be up soon. And when you go on there, you put your tickets on there, you put your information on, and you give us you that you won, have you come down to the show, and we'll sit down, we'll give you the tickets and let you guys tell y'all love story, because I love stories, and you need somebody. Don't ever think you don't need somebody. You need somebody, because God didn't meant for you to be alone. Bible said it's not good for man to be alone, and I don't want to be alone, and I'm glad I'm not alone no more. Thank you, Lord. Oh, now people of God, again, barbsavage.com, Bab Savage. You know, they don't spell the way it sounds. You see my show producer like, bad. You better tell these people they dysfunction with this spelling. You know, we need some ghetto English books or something. You know, but BABSAVAGE.com. Go get your tickets. It's going to be worth it. I'll have it up. Now, today, people of God, we are talking about be a certain way in society, or do we have to sell our dignity as people, as Black people, to be accepted in society? Do we have to dress a certain way? Do we have to look non-threatening to be promoted or to be accepted in corporate America? Do we have to be a certain way or look a certain way or dress a certain way to be accepted in our communities? You know, are we targeted, or do we dress like slaves to be targeted See, we're going to get into something deep. Or do we have to take roles as pimps, prostitutes, cricket cops, or wives, cheating wives, or wives that sleep with other races to get an Oscar or to get recognized? Or as rappers, do we have to sell music that glorify gangbanging, glorify violence, glorify dope selling, glorify having women knocked up, women here, and being a player to make $1? See, that's the question we want to ask, because right now I feel that some blacks, especially black men in America, they're using a certain way they dress as a defect against profiling and against violence in the community. Now, you have on the other side, you have some of the peoples in the community that's saying that these people who dress professional, dress certain ways, maybe sellouts, maybe people who just want to be accepted in society, so they dress a certain way. Now, from my experience, I work at a job that they don't want me to wear jeans. They don't want me to wear comfortable in, even though we do a job that's kind of hard or a job that is very important, but they don't want us to look a certain way. So we have to dress by a dress code, you know. And now, dressing by this dress code, my question to you guys, and you're welcome to call in at 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953 and voice your opinion. You know, when I dress that way, do I look non-threatening to them? Say that I know I'm good at my job and probably one of the best, if not the best, but I will never be promoted because I don't look like that certain way. Now, history lesson. In the history lesson, the way that the master identified the slave was he had him dress a certain way. He had him dress a certain way for different plantations and different property, so you would know that this slave is somebody else's master. Now, the field slave dressed in certain kind of way. They would dress in a way that was like raggedy. Well, now the house or the house Negro would dress in a little bit better class, the old hand-me-downs that the master left for them, but they would dress a little bit. And what the master used to do to make them feel important over the other slaves, he used to put them in a coat with tails and put a hat on him, so that everybody know not only is he a slave, but he is one that's in the house, so he's privileged, you know. And it was those slaves, like Malcolm said, that love their master better than the master loved themselves. They would say things like, we sick, boss, or, you know, we got a nice house here, boss. So those were the ones that were identified. So when slaves ran away and they separated from slavery, or they separated from a plantation, they would change their clothes, because in the North, where there was no slavery, they dressed in just is comparable up to the slave master. Well, might not have been as good, but they were dressed like they were free men and women, even though they were still victims of violence, and they were still victim of racism. They still dressed a certain way, and they dress a little bit better. So again, like when you take the movie 12 Years a Slave, you know, kidnapped and forced into slavery for 12 years, even though he was a free man. But the first thing they did had to change their clothes. And so when they took the slaves from Africa, the first thing they did was strip them of their clothes, strip them of their heritage, strip them of their thinking. Then they threw them and piled them in boats, naked, nude. So when they got over to be sold, then they got the appearance that they were slaves, that they were not free. So my question is, when you look at our communities, you look at our black men, they walk around with their pants down. Now, in jail with your pants down, that's saying that you are available. You are available. So when we walk around with our pants down, we're saying that we are imitating a system in jail, that we are available, but not available for another man, but available to go to jail. Whoa, let me take it. Whoa, I'm fired up today. When you walk around with your pants down, you are available because you are mimicking something that they do in jail to show the other jail people that they're single or that they're available that they want to be taken or be somebody's property. So what happens is when you go to jail, you are the property of the state. You have no control over your own body. You don't tell your own body when to get up, when to go, when to do anything. So what happens is every time the police or these crooked cops or even somebody in the society sees you walking around with your pants down, you're saying that I am available to go to jail. Question is do the young men and some of the women in our communities dress as slaves? Do they dress to want to be profiled? Think about that. We think about Trayvon Martin. He was killed for nothing. Drinking some Skittles. But then he tried to get off. He got off. Zimmerman did get off because he looked a certain way. Here it is. His dad lives there, but he looks a certain way. And see, the question is there a middle ground? You go into corporate America and you dress. That's why when I look at some of these NBA players with these old crazy colors on and these old loud colors, then they're looking like I'm rich and I'm glorious, but I am not threatening. I'm not gonna say nothing. That's why you look at Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, he's not in NFL yet. Some teams are looking at him, but he had a stand. You know, and the reason why they want you to look a certain way, act a certain way, like Michael Vick is still apologizing for fighting dogs, which is not a good thing. But you got so many people that did worse, like Pete Rose betted on the games, did worse, but you don't hear them run his name through the mud like there is Michael Vick. But Michael Vick is still apologizing. So it's like you want this money, you want this status. You got to keep on apologizing. So the question is, do you have to act a certain way to be humble enough to receive their money, to receive accolades? See, when I look at the movies, and I'm going to get back into dress, but I look at the movies, you know, there are a lot of people that have won Oscars, black folks that won Oscars. But you look at what they won Oscars for. Denzel Washington played Training Days amazing. He deserved an Oscar for Training Days. And he deserved an Oscar for Glory. But what happened when he played Malcolm X? What happened when he played Devil in the Blue Dress? What happened when he played Deja Vu? What happened to all those good movies? When he was up for Oscar for Malcolm X, they gave it to Kevin Spacey for American Beauty, which was a stupid movie. But they're not going to give you a movie positive. Amazing job as Muhammad Ali. Amazing job. But they didn't give him the Oscar for it. Halle Berry had good movies. She was great in 911. She was great in other movies. But you give her a movie for sleeping with Billy Bob Thornton, for taking her clothes off. And I understand it's the movies and it's guidelines. But if you see the movie Monster Ball, I'm gonna make you feel good. Make me feel good. You know, come on. They didn't leave little imagination, you know, and they killed them at Barbershop 3. See, make me feel good. Come on. Now, some people will say, well, we need to celebrate our accomplishments and our black people. I celebrate it. But there has to be a dignity in what you do. I mean, you think about that. There has to be a dignity in what you do. Now, when you look at the things that's happening and you say, don't worry about it. You look at the things that happen and you say, wow. It's just like our rappers. When I was young, you had positive rappers. You had rappers like Poor Righteous Teachers, or you had I forgot the other the X Clan. You had rappers talking about positive. You had Queen Latifah, and Queen Latifah said on a radio show or in an interview that the rappers today have no conscience because they're too busy talking about I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna blow your face off, I got this woman, I got that woman, I want to make love. See, they don't have any social justice or social conscience and lifting people up. They just want to make a dollar. I heard that idiot rapper Lil Wayne say, America's good to me. I'm a rich guy. I don't know how. I don't see no racism. You sound like an idiot. You know what? You're good for them because you look great by what you're doing. You're walking around here promoting negativity and promoting death. See, nowadays, you are not going to sell a record saying anything positive. Around here, do you ever watch the interviews of these rappers? You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, dude? Check this out. You know, streets are keeping it real. That's why I love Common Sense. See, Common Sense, amazing movie, and he made a movie about. He won an Oscar for the movie Selma. The question is, why is that we keep playing these slave movies or these movies about the civil rights? Do we want to keep our mind in that era? Because we're constantly talking about, we want to know and we want to relive a lot of the things that was done to us as a people, done, things wrong. But why we can't make movies of moving on? See, Tyler Perry, and I love Tyler Perry because Tyler Perry has the answer to Hollywood. Didn't care if Hollywood didn't accept him showing black people in positive role models or positive roles. See, what he did was he said, forget the Oscars. I'll have my own studio. I'll produce my own movies and I'll make my own money. See, when he did that, he can get the accolades that he need from his peers. Because when I look at the history of Tyler Perry was homeless. Tyler Perry believed in what he had to do, and he put out positive movies. Look at his plays. It started with his plays. Campaign about his plays. It was a lot of it word of mouth, and they was selling out galore. And see, the only way that you're going to ever have the respect that you want, put the movies that you want, and to do the things that you want to do is to have your own. If you are in somebody else's house, you have to live by their rules. You have to go by what they think. A lot of people think that I have rights in somebody else's house. No, you don't. You don't have rights in somebody's house. The old saying is you got to pay the cost to be the boss. And see, we are too busy. The Academy Awards, the Grammys, and all these other people to recognize us for what we do, or what our communities do, or what our artists do. But we have to start recognizing ourselves. And, I don't believe in being separate or separatism. I don't believe in that. But sometimes you got to have your own awards. Look at your BET Awards. Your BET Awards used to be about lifting up Afro-Americans and their accomplishments, but it has gotten so commercial with a lot of outside things, so it's no more just about lifting up Afro-Americans. Now, everybody should be recognized, and true art should be recognized, but you shouldn't have to be a certain way, portray a certain role, or to look a certain way to be accepted in Hollywood, to be accepted in movies. You're more than just a gangbanger. You're more than just a crooked cop. You're more than just somebody that sleep with another race. You're more than just a slave. I think she played a great part in 12 Years a Slave, but then she has to play a slave to win an Academy Award. Why can't she be best actor for being a businesswoman, a best actor for lifting up people? Viola Davis should have won an award for that movie she was in with Meryl Streep, but she didn't. Meryl Streep won, but any role that you're positive, look at Monique. Monique, don't get me wrong, played an amazing part in Precious, but what she's winning for an abusive woman, a woman that's drinking. Again, now what happened when she spoke out against that? They blackballed Monique. Monique can't get another movie, or she get one, she got to get something like Fat Girls. Come on. You need your own. I go to work and I say no names because I don't want nobody to fire me. I don't want I ain't gonna say where I work at, but I work in a place where if you a black man with a mind, or you a man with a mind to believe, you're not promoted. You're not looked upon. And the worst thing that you have to deal with is not just what corporate America or what the status quo thinks of you, but you have to deal with the racism from your own people. You have to deal with people who want to hold you back because you are not like them, or you don't act a certain way. And it looks like, wow, you have to be so you have to dress a certain way. You can't come in there with cornrows, or you can't come in there looking a certain way with a certain Afro-American or Afrocentric view. You have to come in there with a nice shirt, You have to come in there with a nice pair of slacks. You have to come in there with nice shoes because you cannot look threatening to the establishment. You have to act a certain way. You have to be a certain way towards your own kind. You have to be a certain way in order for you to be promoted. I have seen people who have been looked upon or looked over for years. At the minute they get into a position of power, they turn around and be nasty, be devilish, and be dirty. Get that. And you know what happens with that? It's suppressing their sense of self. That's the point that corporate America does for so many of our people and so many people of other races. It suppresses their sense of self. When you think about this, I want you to think, I'm going to read the statistic. I want you to think about this. As a young black male living in America in 2015, they are perceived as angry, aggressive, dangerous. Worse, hood or thug. Terms that have unfairly and casually coded as the label for young black men. Let me say that again. This is what's thought about you. You know, when you look at your communities, because what I want to do is to address the middle part of that. Only way that you can address the middle part of that, people of God, is to have your own. Nobody can tell you how to dress if you own your own business. You can create a standard for business-wise and to promote your business, but nobody can tell you when you have to be. I'm going to tell you, I got a good job, and I thank God for it, but job is slavery. Yourself, but you don't own. It's slavery. Because they tell you what shift you have. They tell you when you have to be to work. They tell you when you can leave. They can mandatory you another shift when you take vacation. If there's somebody that got more seniority than you, they take your vacation. If somebody been there longer than you, they take your shift. So it is you know, you have to work. But in order for you to have the self or the sense of self, you have to have your own. That's the reason why I am working so hard to get my own business. That's why I am studying, I am learning, and that's the reason why I don't want her to work. I want her to relax. I want her to enjoy her life, and I want her to live a long life full of loving me, and I'm loving her. I don't want her to have to work. And if I don't want to have to work for somebody. Now, if she wants to work, let's work together to have something and to promote us. But I don't want us to have to work for anybody because it's already, we have enough to answer to. Why do we have to answer to somebody else? Because they control your life. So if people, again, if you want to comment on what I'm saying, number is 708-223-8953, 708-223-8953. And let me just say this again. They say young black men living, and this was 2015, 2 years ago. This was the study of what most other races think about black men. They said that black men living in America in 2015, they are perceived as angry and dangerous. Now, you think about that, especially people that have never met black men. Especially people don't never see, because this is what's promoted in our communities. So corporate America sees us. This is where a lot of jobs sees us. This is where a lot of communities sees us. So when they see us, they deem us as angry, aggressive, dangerous men. So now they feel like they got to profile us. They look at us like animals. What do you do with animals? You got to keep them on a leash. You got to keep them caged. You got to keep them bound. So if they perceive us as animals, then they're going to profile us. Now, we're not helping that. Always got a bottle of liquor in our hand. Always got a blunt in our hand. Always smoking weed. Always cussing. Being disrespectful. See, one thing is to be perceived as an animal. Is another thing to act like one. Again. And I hope y'all guys listening. It is one thing to be perceived as an animal, and it's one thing to act like an animal. My mom used to always say, be careful what you say. Let people think you dumb. Let people think you unintelligent. Let people think whatever they want to think, but don't open your mouth and prove them right. These people, they love to walk around with their pants and act cool, and they can't use proper sentence. You know what I'm saying, dude? Check this out. You feel me? Real talk. Okay. Fake talk. I've never heard fake talk. If you talking, you talking. But you got all these people and then they always want to hang out. Then you look at these young boys, you don't have a job. You never worked a job, but you driving a Mercedes Benz. You got brand new everything on. You gold up, but you don't have a job. See, you're giving away your power, and you're making them act on their perceptions. See, a lot of times when you see me, I don't wear earrings. I used to wear earrings a long time. I don't wear earrings. I got one tattoo. You can't see it, but I don't have tattoos. I'm not walking around here with my head turned. I'm not walking around here with no skinny jeans on. I'm not walking around here hanging out in no public. If you're not going nowhere doing nothing positive, I'm not hanging with you. I'm not sitting there talking about the same thing, and that's the problem with us. We're doing it. Now, I don't like the fact that I have to go to work and dress a certain way because the job I do is on the phone. It's emergency services, so can't nobody see me. But still, I should be able to dress comfortable. I'm not a threat. In order for me to have this job, I had to have a background threat, but I have to be non-threatening. See, I have to look a certain way. Now, it is a dress code, and I understand that some company has dress codes, and especially you work for the government, they want you to have a dress code. You're a police officer. If you're not a detective, you have to wear a uniform. That I understand. But if we're wearing our regular clothes, you should be able to wear what we need to wear. At the same time, I have to be identified by the status quo as a slave or as a non-threatening black man. And a lot of times people don't understand it. The Bible said we serve God in spirit and truth. If you can't feel my spirit, you will never know my truth. But so many times we go this perception of people, and then we feed into that perception. There's no good men. There's no good black men. All black men are players and pimps. So then when you run into one or one is out there, then you stigmatize or you make the whole race look bad, or you put down the whole race because a few of us. Many people you see in the hood with their pants down, gang banging, doing drugs, selling drugs, smoking drugs. It's even more out there that's taking care of their kids, living right, love God, that's doing right, that's growing as people, and that's responsible black men. The problem is you don't see the two. Are scared to say that. They're scared to say that. See, I work in a community. I work at a place to say, you know what? I am a man. Now, I have some of my best friends. One I'm watching right now, my man Vito from my work. He's one of the greatest guys I ever met. That guy is an amazing guy. He's a white man, but a great guy. I've had some of the greatest. One of my best friends is Carlos. One of the great guys. So it's not saying that, but what I'm saying is that we got to stop looking to try to be a certain way to fit into society. We got to accept each other for who we are. Man, I love you, Vito, man. You my main man. Great guy, man. Great guy. My pleasure. And it's people, because see, what happens is if we keep carrying these stigmatas or these labels, then people are going to start accepting us that way. It never fails when I go into a grocery store and I walk past some people, they start to clench their purses. A black man say to me, I'm more afraid of my race than I am the other race. For real? And it blows me away. I have to be non-threatening. Or then am I accepted in my own community if I speak right English, if I dress professionally, if I don't wear jeans and I don't hang around, am I accepted that way? See, a lot of times there's a racism, a stigmata in the jobs, and there's also one in the community. You know what I mean? If I don't talk a certain way, if I don't hang out a certain way, if I don't drink, if I don't, I got people that study saying where the Bible has said where to drink at. For real? The Bible is, saying where the Bible, a lot of people don't want to pick up a Bible. They'll pick up a gun. They'll pick up a joint. They'll pick up a blunt. Why the police harassing them? You look at the fact, and I'm not taking it lightly. I thought, I'm not saying the police was right, but when that young man got killed, they say they shot him in the back for stealing that car. He almost ran a police officer. And now you want to get on and you want to protest about him being shot down by the police because he stole a car. Where was everybody at when he was stealing a car? When people get shot down on the streets, we're on the TV and we're saying that the police got to do more and they do more, why can't the citizens get out and bang for themselves? Why can't they stand on the corner just like the dope dealers stand on the corner and deter them from doing that? Man, that boy's parents, when he was still in the car, then, see, he tried to run the police officers over. Now, I'm not condoning violence against our people. I'm not condoning violence against, especially against cops killing our kids. Some of them are dirty cops. Some of them are scared. But I'm talking about the people who put themselves in a situation to be killed. I'm out here gang banging, and I'm out here selling dope, and I'm out here doing something that I shouldn't be doing. Because, see, I'm going to tell y'all this, people of God, and most people ain't going to say this. You can control your actions, but you can't control your consequences. See, if I promote death out here on the streets and I'm shooting and gunning, why is everybody crying when I get gunned down? Why is everybody crying when I got 30 years in jail? You can't tell me that you didn't know your son was selling dope on the streets. Tell me you didn't know he was gang banging on the streets. I'm saying is, if we're going to start to clean our community up, we're going to have to start being real about our community people. See, we're marching for rights, but we're not marching our own people. We're not coming out here and saying enough is enough. I go and shoot down and I go down and go off on a police officer for killing my son, but I won't go off on another black man for killing my son. Death is death. Black, white, Italian, Chinese, death is death. I don't want to be gunned down by no black man. I don't want to be gunned down by no white man. I don't want to be gunned down by no cops. Again, you have a right to dress the way you want to dress. You have a right to do things, but it is a shame the thinking of our dressing. See, picture that blew me away. It was a picture of Bill Gates standing with Mark Zing, whatever his name is, that on Facebook. $60-some billion standing there, and you look at the picture, it didn't look like they had nothing on that cost nothing. It looked like both of them shop at Walmart. But look at our people. We got $200 pair of Jordans. We got $100 pair of jeans on. We got $600 jacket on. We got a $100 shirt on. We got $500 or $600 gold on, and we're walking around here, and we don't have a job the first, and we don't have no retirement. We don't have no investments. We don't have anything. A certain way. And then we always say, how can he get caught? You ain't, man, listen to me. If you're selling dope, you out here gang banging, you're going to get caught because you always around. About the police. I have been pulled over by the police. Some when I work, but I guarantee you, you know, and they can shoot me anyway like they can shoot anybody else, but I don't look threatening. Cut. I keep my hair low. I keep them well groomed. I'm not wearing all that fancy stuff. I'm not trying to look like, you know, you have a right to have what you want to have on. But you don't have to look like you belong in society. I'm not trying to fit. Unfortunately, we got to what he got, what kind of bling he got on. And then so many people, like Georgia said, guilty by association. And when we look at that, we get this stigma by all other races, by corporate America, by communities, by it, that we're angry, aggressive, and dangerous. Thing we always want to do is label ourselves by hood and thug. And I'm thug. You know, I'm more than just the neighborhood. I'm more than just a society where I come from. I'm way more than that. I'm Minister Corey Wright. I'm not from a hood. Everything is owned by God. So the whole world is a hood then. I have a right to go wherever I want to go. And you know, we got some people, I'm from the low end. I remember people that say that crap. I'm from the low end. I'm from the Jets. I'm from the Icky. I'm from the Gardens. I'm from Robert Taylor Homes. No, I'm from Chicago. That's where I'm from. And Chicago is mine because it's God's, and so therefore I'm from Chicago. I'm not gonna claim a neighborhood. I'm off 79th Street. I'm this, I'm that. Please, people of God, you can call in with your comments 708-223-8953, 708-223-8953. Hey Dominique, how you doing, Miss Lewis? Oh, I got Darlene watching. I got a midway. So people of God, they unfairly code us as hood and thugs. And so beat that stereotype, a lot of times people dress a certain way. When you look at, this says Trayvon Martin, he was shot and killed wearing a black hoodie. About this, they named a sweat. That's what it is. The correct one is a sweat jogging suit top. They named it a hoodie. And so why did they name it a hoodie? Because it puts a target on your back. So they name it a hoodie. So they say that Trayvon Martin was killed because he was wearing a black hoodie. Now, I want you to look at word association, because some of you guys are being killed, murdered, destroyed over word association because people tell the truth on in word theory by saying certain words together. See, there's a theory in that black hoodie. So I killed a black man in a black hood, in a black hoodie. Oh man, that's good. I like that one. That one got me fired up. Killed wearing a black hoodie. Michael Brown, in his attire, he was wearing a gray windbreaker attached to a hoodie, to a hood. So he had a hood on a windbreaker. There's that word, hood. Hood. So he was killed wearing a hood. Trayvon Martin was wearing a black hood. What am I saying, people of God? Is that they're labeling you by your clothes. They're labeling you by your clothes. In society, and I'm going to say this, and I want y'all to really think about this. Ooh, this is going to be good. Let me hit you some statistics first. In 2013, a website, Killed by Cops. It's a website called Killed by Cops. They documented 770 police-related deaths. This is going to blow you guys away. I want you to really get this. I'm going to say it again. 2013, website Killed by Cops documented 770 police-related deaths. The statistics spiked to 1,104 in 2014. Now, 2013 on Killed by Police documented, Killed by Police document on .com, 770 police-related deaths. The statistic jumped in 1 year to 1,104 in 2014, and so far in 2015, there was 699 more reported. That's cops killing people. This is something I want you to look at. According to statistics, the percentage of the blacks killed by police is much higher in certain demographics. There's roughly 4.2 out of every million black men killed was compared to 1.6 per million per white men killed. What I want to blow your mind about, and I want y'all to hear me good when I say this. 770 that was killed, raised to 1,104, and an additional 699 after that was killed. 10 of them had hoodies on or had gear that's called urban gear. That makes you think about stuff. Wow. So in society today, dressing up has become a life and a death sentence. Oh, that's good. Think of 89% either had on a hood or what they call urban clothes. Urban clothes is a nice way to saying ghetto gear or hood wear. They had on a hoodie. 57% of those people that was killed, according to statistics, had on a hoodie. 7% had on a black hoodie. Said, people of God, society today has made dressing up a death sentence. And to avoid yet becoming another statistic, black men across the country has adopted a dress code to deflect the negative attention that surrounds them for survival. So what they're saying is, I'm safe, I don't pose a threat, you can trust me. And that's what these dress codes say, these positions. So when we go dress up for corporate America and we go dress up for these jobs, what we saying to the other races, to the people that control, that hold the strings, to the people, the other races, it says, I pose no threat and you can trust me. When you go to the people in the hood, what it says is, not safe around me. It says that I pose a threat to you, that I'm going to rob you, rape you, or beat you up. And it's saying that you can't trust me, trust my neighborhood, or trust the people in the neighborhood. People of God, you have to look at what people dress. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player out today. Michael is the greatest ever. But LeBron James got the N-word sprayed on his property. And when you look at LeBron James and the way he dressed, Russell Westbrook and a lot of them dress, they dress with these loud, funky colors on, look like they're safe, they pose no threat, and you could trust them. That's why when you look at a lot of these athletes, they're scared to do what Kaepernick did and stand up, because they're afraid of being ostracized by the community and ran out of the business. So they're afraid to say the things that they should say and use the platform to really lift black folks up, and people as a whole, period. This is not a black and white issue. This is not an other race issue, but there is truth behind this. When you look at some of the people, necessarily dress fashionable, avoid suspicion by the police. See, the thing, and when we talk about history, we look at Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad get a fair share in white society. It was create his own society, but the first thing he did was strip the black men in his organization of these colonial thinking, this colonial dressing. Let me put you in a bow tie and a suit. Let me get your hair cut. Let me make you look good. You look presentable. So therefore, nowhere in the world they can mistake you for a hoodlum or a gangbang or a thug and say we accidentally shot you. You know the way they get this term from people, and I want you to really think about this. They got the term police use it all the time to get them out of business or get them out of trouble. You look like somebody we were looking for, or you fit the description of somebody that we were searching for. Why? Because you dress like them, you got the same color, you're walking around them, you're doing the same thing that they did, so I can't tell the difference, so it's gonna be you. That's how they get that. See, I want to set out. That's why when you look at my t-shirts, like the t-shirt I had, I check myself, it's your turn. I have a message on all my t-shirts. Sometimes I have clean white t-shirts, black t-shirts, but what I carry, and you see that the cross I got when I went through ministry, I got the cross. It has the Lord's Prayer in front of it. So I face the world with prayer. But when you see me, you don't look at me as a threatening black man, you know, but those are the ones that's the most dangerous, because they think for themselves according to society's acceptance. See, those are the ones that, but see, I want to tote guns and walk around and be tough. They just setting you up to fail, and you're giving them the keys to fail. You're like, go ahead, take me down, lock me up, because now I don't have to deal with you. And here's the thing. Rule the world if you're locked up, because you can't vote if you have a felony. You're locked up. I'm felon because, again, we have to look like we're non-threatening. You think about this. I'm safe. I pose no threat, and you can trust me. They want you to look like. You want our money. You want our prestige. You know what? You can't be looked as a investment warrior. You can't be looked at as a lawyer in these roles. You know what? I'm gonna give you all type of Oscars for playing a dope dealer, a drug killer, or being a crooked cop. All type of Oscars for sleeping with a white man on camera. Not saying that you have right to sleep when you want to be, whoever make you right. I'm gonna give you all type of money for being a drug dealer, like the guy in Luke Cage. You get a award for being a drug dealer. Okay, you could be a slave, be raped as a slave to keep that same mentality going. You sure can. Let me give you an Oscar for that. But see, if you a nurse or you a doctor, or you saving lives, or you saving the world, no, you can't do that. We can't have you doing that. You know, you look at Suicide Squad. Squad was a good movie, you know, and you had black superheroes, you had Deadshot, but yeah, you saved the world, but you still got to go back to jail. And it's such a great part. That's why I love the movie Get Out. There were so many subliminal messages in that movie Get Out. Think about what people think of you. You gonna dress accepted? Are you gonna trade your dignity to be accepted? This. When you pull out a gun and say, when they pull a gun out and say, you fit the description of somebody we've been looking for, your mind are dressing the community way. See, in order to get a statement like that, you have to have a community driven already. In order for you to say that I fit the description of somebody you chasing and somebody you looking for, you have to have a community bias thought pattern. That you put on that uniform, you put on that badge, you put on that gun, you feel like you're going into the jungle. And I have to be prepared for battle. And if I want to make it home at night, I got to be ready to kill or be killed. And if they look like they're up to no good, they could be. All the time that was told on my show about Pastor Ford. He said a minister became a pastor of a new pastor of a church. They never met him. So what he did was dress up like a homeless man, and he sat in his congregation. What happened was everybody kept putting him out. Everybody's like, no, you can't come in here, man. You can't come. This is the house of the Lord. Why can't, you know what? You can't come in here. Until he stopped and revealed himself and said, I'm the new pastor. I just want to see what my staff in the church was. And he changed his whole complete staff. That just shows you that there are stereotypes that you have to deal with in order for you to make it. I don't ever want to sell my dignity. I might never get promoted, get looked at, but I realize if I got my own business, I'm the greatest level of promotion, period. I envy, and not so much envy, but I admire those that don't work for nobody else. To me, you have the answer to slavery. You have an answer to corporate America. Because, see, one thing is to do business with corporate America. Another thing is to work for them. See, business with you, don't necessarily have to work for you. See, when I'm a business owner, you're a business owner, we're doing business, we are respected as equals. But if I work for you, I am a part of your property because you own me for a certain amount of time for me to get the money out of you. So I'm a part of that. So I admire that. Now, one thing that we have to look at is Black Americans have to adhere to the notion of politics of respectability throughout history. History says that the Afro-American man had to adhere to the notion of politics of respectability. In order for you to be heard, you have to look a certain way. You know, in order for you, see, one thing that Martin Luther King did, Malcolm X did, Gandhi did, was they became educated prior to being leaders. And the worst, and the greatest thing you can do is to come at people with their own, to beat them with their own game. But you know, you're not going to always beat them, but to be able to fight them with fire, to be educated, to know everything with a certain awareness, so that when you do what you have to do, you will do it in order, but you'll do it in a way that they have to respect. But so many people, they look at politics of respectability. Listen to you. See, another thing, why communities are dead in finances is because without money, you have no power. So you have no politics respectability. So nobody's listening to you. That's why, you know, when you look at the red line to the Ravenswood L, it's a different type of, it's the same system, but it's a better L. Because you know why? They're in communities with money. And being in communities with money, you have political respectability. When you don't have money, that's why our communities are drenched with no money, because there's no community respectability. So why does the police and people gonna be respected? I seen on the news last night, you had firefighters arriving to a auto scene, and one of the guys got mailed and shot through a fire department, a fire vehicle's window. But then we're acting like animals, and then we're getting mad at being treated like animals. And it ain't the ones that's acting like animals that's been the ones that's been treated. It's the ones that don't. All the people that's leaving Chicago, you know, leaving Chicago. Because again, the political or the politics of respectability. That is such a powerful, because, and let me explain what the politics of respectability is. It's when black men are catering to an external expectation to present themselves as respectable and more so human. Convey this, that we are human. There's an opportunity for a relationship that is based upon being dominant, but it's not a relationship of being dominant, but it's a relationship of being willing to be subservient. Now let me say that again, because this is some stuff that really baked my noodle when I start reading this. Politics of respectability is when black men catering to external expectations to present themselves as respectable and more human. Convey that we are human. The opportunity for a relationship of us not being dominant but being subservient is formed. What is it saying? In order to be politically respectable, you have to look a certain way. When you look in a certain way that you're non-threatening, then you are considered open for a relationship where they are still dominant and you are subservient. So the notion of utilizing your dresses to deflect prejudice is false. What it does is it shows that you are open to prejudice because you are willing to look the way they want you to look. Using fashion to gain recognition of one's humanity has been a strategy since the 1800s. There were schools thought of, black schools presenting themselves more respectable if there was translated to be treated equally. Or everybody in the early 1800s couldn't go to school. And only the black kids that could go to school had to dress a certain way. Now, they had to dress a certain way, not like the white kids going to school. They had to dress a certain way that they didn't look like the black kids that couldn't go to school. They would learn, but they would only learn a certain education. So when you look at that, they had to look non-threatening. So they had to look better than the ones that couldn't go to school in the 1800s, the black kids, but they couldn't look better than the white kids going to school, or they couldn't learn as much. So when you look at that, that people are being killed for their clothes. When you look at captive America, when we were enslaved, again, I spoke about that earlier. When we was enslaved, we had to look a certain way. Everything that we homegrown, or everything that we did that make us money so that we would have the fancier things and the fancier cars in the early 1900s was taken away from us. When you look at gambling, has always been gambling. But when you had the Afro Americans that would have gambling, often rated, or they were often paying other places so that they can run it, but they were making money and they were wearing silk suits, they were wearing nice cars, and they was wearing everything. So what happened was we had to make gambling illegal, and then what happened? The state takes it over and it makes it illegal. It's just like in Harlem running numbers. You had Madam Sinclair, Stephanie Sinclair, where they call her the queen, and then you had one of the gangsters, Bumpy Johnson. That's what they did. They ran the numbers. They made millions. The communities was flourishing. So what happened? They made it illegal to run numbers. They made it illegal. So then what happened? They made it legal to call it the lottery. They call it the lottery because anything that is homegrown in the communities that's going to make the people look better, grow better, or live better, they cannot be stigmatized, or they cannot be located or looking like a slave. See, that's why, and you all might not agree with me, and I don't like his antics. I love his business smarts, is Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather makes $100 million a fight. Own promotion, he owns his own business. He don't have to answer the Golden Boy, productions, everything. Just think if Mike Tyson, a man like Floyd Mayweather in business, Tyson gave all his money away because he didn't have a business mind for business. You look at what's this guy's name? Oh, I can't think of his name. That's a very smart businessman. I said Floyd Mayweather. Another one, and I'll tell you, you all might not agree with me, is Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was a great businessman. And Bill Cosby had a deal in place to buy NBC. And it was going to be him, Oprah, and Michael Jordan. What happened was Oprah and Michael Jordan backed out. Bill Cosby didn't. What happened to Bill Cosby? They destroyed his name. You know, all these women coming up and say that he did that. Why he wasn't in jail? Why you didn't do that before? See, the legacy that Bill Cosby had needed to be destroyed. What happened? You know, they destroyed. He was guilty before he even went to trial. But he was a great businessman. And see, that's the thing about America. You cannot be an awesome businessman and not look a certain way. Movement. When you look at the black movement, there was a black dress movement of liberation, 30s and the 40s, and it sparked black folks to look like distinguished gentlemen, and they call themselves the black dandies. They look dandy, and they didn't want to look like anybody else anymore. Look like that because they knew if they dressed up a certain way, they would be respected and recognized as humans in society. During the civil rights movement, men wore black suits and women wore white dresses. We used to call them our Sunday besties. And they were super dignified to use clothing to show that they were productive and citizens, and they were going to fight for their rights. Now, the reason why they did that was to show that I am wearing a black suit. I am wearing a suit that is one color because I have one agenda, and that's equal rights and that's fair rights. So I don't look like I'm trying to threaten you. You can't say that I'm some kind of gang, I'm some kind of militia, I'm some kind of mafia. I have a black suit on. Time a black suit was considered a proper dress for church, for jury, for Congress, for government. So I am dressing as a non-threatening black man, even though I'm going to fight for my rights. A white dress. dress was called a Sunday best. White dress showed that I am coming clear. And we are all unified as black and white. We got black and white on, unified to march. What happens is, when the cameras was on, they didn't look threatening in dress. And they stood, and when you think of the march on Selma, how they beat and brutalized people, they did that. And they looked people, and the nation seen this. You're brutalizing and murdering your own people. They didn't look threatening. And some people believe that looking a certain way is an armor, that a suit is an armor. Gets you in places. That a suit negates the fact that you are a certain race or a certain color. That a suit gets you in places that you wouldn't get. See, I don't want to be in a place and see, and then not to say that you own it, because here's the thing about that. When you get to that certain place, now you have to deal with the stigma from your own communities. I had somebody tell me, I'm the only man that live on my block, and proud of that. I had somebody tell me, I'm the only black man that they let up here. Wow. I want to get somewhere, but see, I want to be like, I'm the first black man here. Now let me pull some more in. Let me do some more. But see, again, we got to have our own. We got to have our own. Another thing that I want to talk about, and I want you guys to think about, is a lot of times uniforms. When we look at people, we look at people in uniforms, and unfortunately, the stuff that's been done to our communities and things have happened. We look at people in uniforms. A lot of times, security jobs love to keep people in uniforms. The reason why they want to keep them in uniform is because they want them to know that they are here not to help you. They want your face, they want your appearance, but they want you in their uniform. They don't want you to be cool with nobody. I want you to listen. This is your job. You have to look a certain way, and you have to be a certain way in order to job. But when they come, I want the uniform to deter people. I want you to stand right there and protect my property or protect my stuff wearing this uniform. Now, there is nothing wrong with wearing a uniform if you're doing a good job, because police, firefighters, doctors, you have to wear uniforms. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, when you're wearing a uniform to look a certain way for a certain people, look a certain way that's non-threatening, then that's when the uniform becomes a problem. I want you to think about something. Think about something that I read. I want to share with you what I read. The way you dress has never completely protected Afro-Americans. But that doesn't mean that black men still don't have effective use of strategy matters. I personally have realized that your fashion determines life changes, death. Trayvon Martin after Trayvon Martin's death, made people dramatically change their fashion. Maybe, maybe not. I personally believe that a man should have a style of his own, but it should be a style that gives him an advantage to who he is. I like to dress up sometimes, and I like to look nice. I love for my lady to look nice. I like to be in a place where you don't have to dress in jeans and gym shoes all the time. I don't like to do it. I like to dress up. I like to wear nice suits and nice things. Like I think Steve Harvey is an amazing dresser. I like to see Steve Harvey in his suits, doing that. But see, what happened was I lost respect for Steve Harvey when he went to go visit Donald Trump. What are you gonna go talk to Donald Trump about? You know, how you gonna talk to Donald Trump who has nothing for black folks? You think he gonna listen to you? He'll meet with you, but won't meet with somebody else. He won't go meet with some of these people in the neighborhoods. He'll meet with you. Dressing up in a suit. You look non-threatening. You look like you should be listening to Donald Trump. You think about this. When Donald Trump met with all those pastors, none of them came in jeans. Came in a three-piece suit, looking dandy to go see Donald Trump. They looked non-threatening. So in conclusion, among the thousands of black men, they have overwhelmingly decided, right or wrong, it gives me security, promise, and optimism. Security, promise, and opportunities if I dress and act a certain way. You have some people making good money. I know some people that I worked around, that act a certain way and make awesome money. And I know they're promoted and got great opportunities. But I know that would never be me that way to get those promotions. And the question that I posed in earlier, do I have to sell my dignity to make it? Do I have to sell my dignity among my people in my community? Do I have to be a certain way? Do I have to act tough? Do I have, if I want to be a rapper, everybody the N-word, do I got to cuss? Do I got to glorify selling dope? Do I got to glorify beating up people? Do I got to glorify gang banging? In order for me to sell records, do I got to walk around with all this gold in my mouth, with my head twisted, my pants down? Do I always got to have weed around me, and gang bangers and goons around me? Do I have to cuss to sell a record? You know, can I not lift up my community with my music? Can I not tell the truth without being dirty? I gotta get on a show and look wild and look crazy. You know, do I gotta use broken English because I'm having an interview? Think about that. In order for me to be a successful person in corporate America, that's a certain way. Can I not wear cornrows? Can I not wear African styles? You know, what would they say? I come on an interview with an afro. You know, do I have to dress a certain way? Do I have to talk a certain way? Do I have to have certain people? That's why people mad at OJ. They upset at OJ, not because when you look at the trial with OJ, done that. It was not, experts showed that he did not do that. But what happened was OJ forgot who OJ was. OJ didn't care about no community. So you go over to another community, which you have a right to live and do whatever you want to do. I'm not saying that. But what OJ did was, when OJ got in trouble in that community, he want to run back to our community. Card. You didn't want to pay that card before. I remember when there was something going on with the riots, and they asked OJ when he was a football player in college, what do you think about that? OJ said, well, I have no feelings about it. Now, as soon as you get in a murder trial, now you want to scream, oh, it's racism and it's this and that. Come on, man. Being racism when you was over there in that society, now you want to do that. See, again, that's why people are upset at OJ. And then you look at OJ when he get out now, you know, well, he got parole and everything. He's still a danger. See, OJ, you forgot where you was. You forgot who you was. And you only use who you was because you wanted to get off. A brilliant lawyer and Johnny Cochran and a brilliant lawyer team. But again, people, we have to look at that. Now, in entertainment, I am not one to talk about people. Why? We need opportunities. What I'm saying is we have enough stars in police. We have enough stars that have money. Why not put together your own black Oscars? Why not put together something that you can do without having to play certain roles? Is in Oscar. There was a hashtag that was saying that Oscars are so white controversy. And when I was looking at this, it says that apparently the attempt to pay lip service has taken a back seat. The problem goes deeper. It says the nominees suggest society is mainly comfortable with blacks playing certain roles. Now, this was a study that was shown. It says that nominees suggested society mainly comfortable with black people playing. Let's take the movie that won, lead actor. You know, the lead actor that won, that was black and nominated, but didn't win, was 12 Years a Slave. Now, the person of color that won the Academy Award, I can't say her name, but Best Supporting Actor was The Birth of the Nation. Another movie that talks about slavery. And see, what the Academy Awards are doing and what they're doing is study revamping these movies about our history. We know about our history. We don't want to forget our history, but we need to know about our future. Keep talking about where we've been at and not talking about where we're going at, then we're going to stay in that cycle. To always view yourself, the young people to view yourself as a slave, as a drug dealer, as a gang banger. Always keep promoting that. The greatest movie one of the greatest movies I love is Talk to Me with Don Cheadle when he played Petey Green. That was an excellent movie. But at the same time, awards, and the guy played an amazing part in that. You know, you have some amazing parts, but at the same time, you won't get recognized in films about slavery. Black men can't play strong moral characters. Their strength is likely to be positive as long as it's relegated to the past. Rarely in the present do you play a hero. You know, you got to look at that. He was slated to play James Bond, and they canceled it. Why can't he play James Bond? Another thing, they portray barbaric, violent by nature. You think about it, James Bond, but you could instead play something that's barbaric, that's violent by nature. Like you take Denzel Washington, which he did a fantastic job, but he played a corrupt cop in Training Day, which he won an Oscar for. And if they're not powerful, they're most completely silent best friends. Furniture dressing. They call it furniture dressing because I'm not going to give you deserve Oscar for, but I'm going to give you one that you were just as good that don't have strength or the hero character. And the roles for our sisters is always typecast as loudmouth, easy riddle, angry black women. Think about that. You got movies where they plan that, you know what, I'm not taking no mess. And then we look at that. Black woman play Wonder Woman. Why is that? Why is it that you got a new movie coming out, Just Married, with Taraji B. Henson? Why she got to be a hit woman? Why is it that we have to play those type of roles? Makes you think about that. They always typecast. So many sad times saying that there are not enough movies for African American black women. And if it is, they got to be easy to riddle, angry black women with loud mouth. It becomes that. Whereas 6 women of color have won supporting trophies. If a woman of color fit into an active stereotype, they are more likely to be successful. More likely to be successful if you fit into that stereotype. This stereotype matters because it reflects and affects the real world. The movies, the songs, the persona is being copied by our people. They're being copied by communities. They could be copied by societies. You know their books, but they can tell you every word from a rap song. And you got these young kids. When Soulja Boy was out here, you heard the kids, Superman that whoa, Superman that whoa, but they bringing home D's and F's. My son, oldest son, I love him to death, and can rap all day, but you can't pass school. You got to go to summer school. We're watching these rappers who are glorifying it is okay to be dumb. It's okay to not go to school. It's okay to smoke dope. It's okay to gang bang. It's okay to go to jail. And it's okay to die in these streets. These are the roles that we're playing. When you think about it, the reason why these roles are so prominent is because it embodies the society subconscious. It embodies the subconscious of our society. That's a seed. It makes everybody think that you can be a rapper. It makes everybody think that you can be a basketball player. It makes everybody think when the numbers are amazing. 1,000,000 to 1 odds. But when you go to school, the numbers for being a great businessman is that much smaller. One of the greatest fields of making money is the medical field. The medical field never lays off. The medical field always, you go out of school with a medical field, you're going to make good money. You could go to school for 2 years and be an RN and make $40-something an hour. But we don't put that in our kids. We are too busy glorifying the fact that you want to be a rapper, you want to be an athlete, you want to do all the things the easy way out, doing nothing permanent. When you look at those that deal with us, our subconscious of our communities, it makes you look at when you compete with other races and other counterparts and other communities, seeing that they can be this and they can be great people. But in our society, we got to bring up the same stereotypical, we slaves, or we're dope dealers, or we're corrupt cops, or we're bad people. When you look at in the United States, the media highlighted the fact of black people looting and studying them, and then the other races that was in Katrina was just finding food. And you had some of our stupid people in the midst of all that water trying to carry a TV. That. First of all, the media is showing them carrying TVs. And they call them refugees. Refugees. And when you look at that, you look at the stupidity, you have people getting TVs. The biggest detriment to progress is ease. Denzel Washington. Is ease. So you look at what the media, now they didn't promote all the people that were starving. They didn't promote all the people that was out of their homes. They didn't promote all the bodies that was floating. But what you seen on every news camera was black men looting. Now you look at some of successful films. They're always fighting stigmatas of black folks. We have to understand, it's important to understand, racism is more than just the individual. And it's more than just a movie. because racism can be not just black, white, white, black. It could be black, black, white, white. Because if you think about it, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, they had black officers shooting down black folks too. I'm gonna think they had officers, because I'm gonna tell you something. It's more of those black officers that's frisking our black men. You seen the movie? Straight Outta Compton. They had them rap artists on their face. Black man trying to get them more than anything. And I hate to say it, I've experienced in my jobs more racism from my black folks than I have from the other race. See, I can deal with other races not liking me and being upfront with liking me, but it burns me up when my own race is. And I've dealt with prejudice in the communities. I've dealt with prejudice with my own people at parties. Everybody come in there, I come in there, and the first thing, you being a man or woman of God, oh, what they gonna talk about? Or, it amazes me that people don't think that men and women of God are human. And the first thing out of their mouth is, oh, I'm gonna go to church and I love the Lord and the Lord love me. And I just wanna know how you doing. It makes you think about that. Now, I hesitate to come up to I don't hesitate, but and sometimes we hesitate to question this, or to say, do we have to live a certain standard? Do I have to be non-threatening to be blessed? Let's think about this society, or my radio show. Now, and what I love about the owner of this radio station is that he allows me to say what it is I need to say from the heart and what needs to say. What happens when this becomes even bigger and I'm on a greater platform? Am I going to be asked to change who I am or what I say? You think about something. Dave Chappelle show was hard hitting and said what he wanted to say. Him money, but there are some people was like, no, that got to get out of here. He probably would never say it, but every time you get to a point of where you saying the truth, they want to tweak it and change it. Look at all the sitcoms. You look at Martin, how it changed later. You look at the Jeffersons, how the Jeffersons used to be, how they tried to make it less threatening, how they make George less threatening. Look at Bunker, stayed Archie Bunker all the way through the thing. All the way there. Even with Sammy Davis Jr. in his seat. He stayed there. When you look at Living Colors. And Living Colors used to hit hard about stuff, but what happened? They changed it into a non-threatening show. In truth, if someone do not look back, or someone don't look black enough, people will assume they are not black and treat them accordingly. Not look black, though, choose to opt into racial identity to experience the racism that comes with that. They're not saying that all people are bad. They're not, because you have racist black people, you have racist white people, you have racist Chinese, you have racist everybody. In order to understand the way we see things, you have to step in our shoes. In order for us to get in certain societies, that's why when you look at all these colleges, they have secret societies. Societies that continue to keep a circle of wealth that will keep people out. In order to get this circle of wealth, you have to be in a circle. In order to get into a circle, you have to be and appear non-threatening. And you have to look a certain way. Not matter a specific racial background. And you should not be limited to somebody's perspective. You should be able to embrace your culture. But the only way you're going to be able to embrace your culture is that the status quo in society accepts you and accepts your culture. Importantly, you have to be able to accept your culture, or you have to get it in your mind, I have to be in a place to do so. I have came to the point in life that I will live in a society that respects my culture. And if I have to live in a society doing what it is that I have to do on my own, I will do that. Everything, my whole focus is to have my own business. Focus is to be all that God has called me to be. Now, I will do that by having my own. Whenever you work for anybody else, you have to submit to those racial biases. You have to submit to those non-threatening forms. You have to act and be a certain way in order for you to make it and get promoted. It boggles me how many people have to sell out or sell themselves short, sell themselves to make it. Martin Luther King said, a better mousetrap, you build a better product, the world will be the door to your path, your door to get it. And that we have forgotten what made us or what makes us. We have gotten to the point where we want to be accepted. Another one, when you look at that, I'll tell you two good examples. You look at Clarence Thomas and Ben Carson. They are acceptable because they feel a certain way about themselves and about their communities. And when you look at with Anita Hill, it was black on black crime to the highest level. And it was like, okay, you know, you did this to me, but I'm going to bring it out now. I'm not going to bring it out now. I'm not going to bring it out until you get elected. At the same time, I'm going to fight you on the highest stage. And see, what it looks like was we can't get along or work together. See, there's always a perception in people's thinking. There's always a way people look at us. There's always a way we look at ourselves. We're going to continue to be threatening, or we're going to continue to look at each other the way we do. Relationship-wise, we sometimes, in relationship-wise, we have to act a certain way when we're around certain people. That's the reason why, and I said it on a previous show about interracial marriages and relationships. Because the question is, do I have to act more like another race to be with that race? Or does the race accept me for who I am? Nothing like being around friends, people, and business associates that accept you for who you are. There are some good things I love about my job. I love diversity, and I love those that accept me for who I am. But a lot of times we don't know who we are. So many people can make us into people that are not threatening, don't look like they pose a threat. We trust is because we don't know ourselves. You know, you have a lot of ministers that's scared to preach on. You have a lot of ministers and leaders that's scared to tell the congregation what thus say the Lord. They don't even preach sin no more. They got this notion that God is love, that God hates sin. We have gotten to the point where we have accepted what society says. And every time they come out with something new, we go, what does it say? You know, restaurants, critic. Okay, how can somebody be a food critic? I don't like everything, but don't mean what that person cook ain't good to somebody else. It is a harsh reality, people of God, that we have to face, that we don't face, is that in order for us to make it in certain places, and it's not just Afro-Americans, Chinese, it's have to be a certain way. You have to come off non-threatening, and you have to live a certain way. What happens? The minute you make it, and I'm talking about some of our brothers and sisters who have made it that don't come back to the community. As soon as you make it, what happens? Let me move to the suburbs. Somewhere. Let me move somewhere where I don't have to worry about crime. And I understand some people move. I got kids, and if you got kids, well, there's a better education, a better system, and you want them to grow up. There's nothing wrong with that. I understand that. I truly do. But it's up to us to teach them and to teach our community by taking responsibility of stereotypes. Having people dress right, but not dress the way society says. The idea of skinny jeans. Skinny jeans make men look gay. I'm sorry. Because why do you want to see a tight pair of jeans on somebody's man's behind? A lady, which shouldn't wear tight, but if they wear them, okay, that's different. But not no man. There are certain things that men didn't do growing up. Baggy jeans. We dressed in nice slacks. We dressed in stuff. We look manly. We got our hair cut. We look presentable. And we look like, but nowadays, we don't want to, we want to look like a society, and we want to cry about being targeted, and we want to cry about being about the police. We want to cry about in our communities about what they're doing bad in our communities, but we don't want to talk about what we're doing to perpetuate that thinking in our community. About that. I'm gonna get mad at the police for gunning you down or profiling you, but I ain't gonna get mad at you for selling dope with your pants down. I'm mad at you for cussing people. I had a little boy that walked past grown ladies and was cussing up a storm. F you this, and I'm gonna kick your B. And I'm like, man, don't you see the grown folks there? But the kid mom said nothing. Better than that. Ha 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 ha. Come on. Man got killed. He got killed for stealing a car, for almost running the police over and running from the police. But then everybody want to fight with him. Now, it ain't like Freddie Gray or like the other guy that got killed for the cigarettes. They didn't have to kill him and choke him out like that. But I'm talking about those out there that's putting themselves in stupid situations. This man had a gun. He just pulled on police, but he didn't shoot. He still had a gun in his hand. Get on the show. Get on the floor. Okay, I don't want to get on the floor, but I'm going to get on the floor because I don't want you to shoot me. I got both hands up. Both hands on the thing. I want to reach for my wallet. Okay, let me show. Reach for my wallet. You can see. But I'm not going to go all off and jump in your face and say, now we have rights and you're right. We shouldn't always walk around being scared. But at the same time, we don't want to give them that view. I'm not hanging out on the corner nowhere. I'm not sitting out drinking. I'm not going to sit up talking loud about nothing. I'm not going to do it. I don't go to house parties. I'm not going to no clubs. I'm not doing it. That's just not me. No liquor stores. A lot of people say I'm an alcoholic, but you keep going over and over to the liquor store. Drugs and alcohol. Okay, yeah, drugs. We have to sell the drugs. I live in a community that sell drugs, that have liquor stores, but I don't sell dope, but I don't live in. Or do I drink, or do I sell dope, or do I use dope? It's a choice. For us, for people to destroy us, but it's another thing for us to destroy ourselves and blame everybody else for it. We've gotten to the point where we want to blame everything and everybody. And now there is a lot of things. There are a lot of conspiracies. There are a lot of things set up to destroy our communities. We have no boats. We bring no product in here. We manufacture no guns. We have no gun shops. But we do have fingers. We do have legs. We have minds. We have mouths. We have bodies. Those are the things we control. Times we out here being promiscuous, we having sex, we out here doing everything, but at the same time, if you're not going to get married, you out here having unprotected sex, you're doing whatever you want to do, then at the same time, when something happens, then you can't get mad. I'm out here perpetuating negativity, I can't get mad. See, I don't get mad that I have to dress a certain way at work. What I am doing is working so where I can have a business of my own that makes me millions of dollars or make me great money, where I can dress a certain way. Not get mad for treating the ladies in my community a certain way if I'm treating my lady right. I have been in positions for so long with good people. Some of them I treated awesome, some of them I didn't treat the best. But God has blessed me with somebody that's amazing, good. I'm going to treat her like a queen she is. Condescending before I say or do anything. I'm going to be cognizant of not saying nothing that hurts her. I'm going to be cognizant of not doing nothing that hurts her. I'm going to be cognizant of not saying nothing that brings her down or belittle her. I'm going to respect her feelings and her life. And I'm going to do the same thing for my community. I'm going to do the same thing in my life. And I don't, you know what? If I have to ever be, that's why people don't understand the power. See, I was at one point saying, I pray that this radio show gets me a radio show on a radio, on a station or something like that. No, I don't. Sponsorship comes where I can remain here and speak the truth the way God gave me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God, the way God gave. That's why I admire, and people don't really realize the ownership of this station, the power of this voice, because he is not sitting here regulating what we say. The truth the way we need is true, and that's what's missing in radio, that's what's missing in the community, that's what's missing in society, the truth. We're afraid to tell each other the truth. We're afraid to be truthful to each other, so we want to blow smoke and we want to give us this stereotypical thinking so that we sound politically correct. Politics, respectability. I don't want to be respected for looking a certain way. I don't want to be respected for dressing a certain way. I want to be respectful for the truth I speak. Because when my body is no longer here and my dress is no longer here and society is no longer here, the truth is always here. Martin Luther King Jr. has been dead for years. Malcolm X has been dead for years. Boys has been dead for years. Elijah Muhammad has been dead for years. You got a lot of our great leaders have been dead for years, but their truth has still been being spoken day after day. Every year, we celebrate Martin Luther King. We celebrate Malcolm X. Every year, those words are being spoken. One of my favorite movies is The Great Debaters. And the reason why it's one of my favorite great debaters movies is because before they go on to speak and debate, who's the judge? They said the judge is God. Why is he the judge? Because he decides who wins or loses, not my opponent. Who is my opponent? My opponent doesn't exist. He's merely a figment of my imagination due to the truth I speak. And people, we have to speak the truth. It is all right to celebrate our success. It is already to celebrate the success of our people. But success, who we are as a race, the dignity who we are as a people, the dignity we are in God is not worth success. If you want me to succeed, well, I have to be your flunky. I don't want to do it. If you want to give me a promotion on the strength that I'm being promoted to be a clone of you, I don't want to do it. The guy asked me one day that I work with, asked me one day, or I work with, asked me one day when we were in the gym working out, am I a sellout? Our response to him was thinking. I want to say, yes, you are. You're the greatest sellout I've ever seen. But my response to him was, only you can answer that question. You do what it takes to take care of your family. I do what it takes to take care of my family as well, but I do it with an awareness of who I am. Now, ever, and I love all people. So, like I said, some of my best friends are white. Some of the people that's been there for me is white. One of my best friends, Carlos. That's my main man, 100 grand. I go down with that guy. People are closer to me than my family. I got family members I don't even deal with or don't mess with, but I love them guys. But my thing is that you don't have to sell who you are for $1. Who you are for success. You don't have to sell who you are for recognition. You are up and coming singer. You are becoming rapper. I have a young lady. She gonna be on my show next Wednesday. I'm gonna put the promo out. She's a singer. She's been through, but she's a singer that's positive. That sings songs about making it. She's a rapper as well that raps positive things. And if you're an artist out there, you are actor to be, whatever you are in society, whatever you are, far as your craft, you don't have to sell who you are to be successful. Accolades on a cost me my dignity. Don't give me anything that costs me my spirituality. Don't give me any success that costs me my identity. When when you see me, I want you to see an artist, not a black man. When you see me, I want you to see a minister, not a black man. When you see me, I want you to see a radio personality, not a black man. Me, I want you to see me because you love me, not because I'm a black man. Role as an actor. Give me one that I'm capable of playing, not because I'm a black man. See, again, people of God, you have to be real to yourself. You have to understand that you don't have to live in anybody's stereotypical thinking. You don't have to live in anybody's perception. Take the back seat to nobody. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are a child of God, and what's in you, the world is waiting for you. And don't let people grab hold on you and try to take that. I'd rather be known for who I am than be known as a clone of somebody else. We got too many clones. I love my pastor. I think he's an amazing man of God, an amazing speaker. I get a lot from him. But I speak the way I speak. One thing I love about what he preaches and teaches is individuality. And I teaches my kids that. And all three of my kids, they have their own personalities. Kids love to swim. Where he get it from, I don't know. If it ain't no tub, I'm not getting into it. He loves to rap. He get it. My middle son, he's brilliant. He's smart. He's a science freak. Where he get it, I don't know. I wasn't thinking about no science. I passed it, but I wasn't thinking about it. God, you have to be who you are. Because one thing you can never get back is your self-dignity and your self-respect once you sell it. Somebody else owns it. O.J. Simpson found that out the hard way. When he sold himself to be accepted in society, when he sold who he was, his heritage, his who he was to be this symbol, to be in this high society. Soon as he got in trouble there, he ran back to us. He's not accepted here, and that's not why he's accepted there. Stuff that happened to OJ, he bought on himself. What happened was he gave up himself for success. But everybody that sells dope does. That's what everybody that tears up our community does. That's what everybody dressed a certain way to be a certain way. That's what you do. You might have me dressing a certain way at work now because I need the income. But you'll never taint who I am as a man, as a black man. You'll never taint who I am anywhere. My own. And people of God, I don't need to be in corporate America to be accepted. I'll just work with corporate America, but I won't work for them. I'm going to be who I am. That's for the neighborhood as well. I'm not dressing no skinny jeans. My pants going to be on my butt with a belt. I'm not wearing no earrings, and I'm not cocking my hat. I'm comfortable being Minister Corey Wright. I'm comfortable with the way I dress. To be nothing for nobody, and I don't have to sell me for success. You love me. You can donate or you don't donate. I'm going to be me. God has blessed me with means to be on this radio. I'm going to say the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me, God, if you listen or not, be me. So people of God, I want you to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Thomas. And we'll be saying, was he really a doubter? Or did he know that he needed a real encounter with God? Or was he honest about his faith? We'll be talking about how many people come to church and don't have an encounter. They just have an experience. We'll be talking about that. We'll be dealing with that. And I have my pastor, Robert Savage II, be joining me. We're going to get deep into the word. People of God, you don't want to miss this show. Also, go to my Facebook page and donate. Help keep this vital word, this vital service to the community going. Because remember, we can always pick something negative. Let's build something positive. As always, if it was easy, there'll be no Minister Corey Wright. There'll be no Earl Winfrey. And if it was easy, there'll be no you. See you at work.
You just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. You just get on board.